Hi, good afternoon, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of this upcoming week's two chapters. You're going to be looking at chapter 13 and 14, and they are dealing with investing. And so chapter 13 is going to talk with you about some basic fundamentals for investing. I know some of you are older students, and you probably have already started investment programs. So basically, this will be an overview for the younger college students who have not started an investing program. One thing I really enjoyed reading about in this chapter was what the author said, and she said that there's no better time for a college student to begin planning for retirement than right now. I thought that was a profound statement, although right now, if you are in college, you probably think, I don't have any money that I can invest. But you will be getting out of college soon and getting a job. And as soon as you start getting a job, the number one priority is that you start an investment program. So if you remember back in chapter 1, and we started on goal setting and did the SMART goals, well, you want to apply that scenario to investing too. You want them to be, you want to be specific. You also want to have short-term, long-term, and intermediate goals that you're looking at. A short-term goal would be that for the first year, as you're getting established in your career, maybe you can't invest $100 a week, but you could put up $10 a week, putting it into a savings account, and then at the end of that year, what you would have, enough money that you could start an investment program. No matter how you start, the big thing is you start small and work yourself up. Another thing is, we will get into this in the next chapter, is talking about your 401k. That is an investment program. Make sure that the minute you can start investing in your 401k, that you are doing that. Don't just say, well, I'll start that next year. The minute you're eligible, please start investing in your 401k, because you turn around and life has happened and you're ready to get ready to retire, and you have no money put away in savings or an investment program. So if the way I tell most of our students is, make sure they take it out of your paycheck. If you don't see it, then you're not going to miss it, and you keep investing and different things like that. Another thing in chapter 13 is you want to know the factors about the investments you're thinking about: safety, risk, income, growth, and liquidity. You also want to know that there is a big correlation between safety and risk. Um, don't just buy stocks because somebody has said, oh, this is a good stock. Make sure you do your research and you know what type of stocks you're buying. Then another thing is what they call the allocation of your stocks. What you want to do is spread the wealth around. Basically, you're not going to put all your eggs in one basket. You're going to make sure that you may have some stocks, you may have bonds, different types of stocks, different things like that. Um, Also make sure that you know that it is your responsibility to make sure you keep up with your stocks, the values of them. Doesn't mean you have to check them daily, but maybe once a week you go in and you look at your portfolio and see how it is. Sometimes it might mean that you need to talk to a professional that can help you. Did you determine if you need to ride out any lows and within the stock market, or should you sell and then try to buy other stocks? So you want to know that. I always didn't depend on myself. I had a financial advisor, and I depended on him to make sure that I knew what was the best for me. Chapter 14 is talking about starting to invest in stocks. One of the things is you want to know the big difference between preferred and common stocks. Preferred, they're both are pretty stable, but one of them has a little bit higher gain. So make sure that you want to do that. People will invest in common stocks because the dividend income and the appreciation in value. Um, Preferred stocks, they sometimes pay you dividends, so you want to think about that. Evaluate the stocks. There are several websites out there that are great references. Moody is one that you can look at. The New York Stock Exchange, if you can figure out how to read it, that's a great one to be able to look at to determine if you want to buy stocks. Another objective of this one is to know how stocks are bought and sold. Of course, we buy it on the New York Stock Exchange, but generally we can do them online. We can buy them from a broker online. That's why I had an investment person that would advise me what to buy, and I would tell him how much money I had to invest and let him purchase it for me. I do know a friend of mine, her and her father, they basically every Monday morning sit down together via Skype and they discuss the stocks and which ones they think are good investments, which ones are not. She said she does this mainly to be able, as a way of communicating with her father, as to keep in touch with him and know what was going on in his life, was just to discuss stocks and bonds with him. So that might be something that you would want to do, is find somebody that you trust, and again, meet with them once a week, every other week, and talk about the different stocks that are out there. Um, and you know, that's a way of connecting with friends and families. um, Also, this chapter is going to give you some great insight on how to make the decision whether to buy and when to sell stocks. Just That's just something that's new. And then also they're giving you a scenario for Dollar Tree. I love Dollar Tree, so that's something that you might want to think about. So that's just a quick overview of chapter 13 and 14. Now, for this week, I want to make sure there's no confusion. Some people have been questioning the different types of the case study and the discussion board questions. This week, your financial planning problems, and they're always going to be application based, where you have to figure something out. They're on page 474. You're doing questions 1 and 5 from chapter 13. On page 515 and 516, you're going to answer questions 3 and 13. And that's up for chapter 14. Also, if I'm not mistaken, on chapter 13, there's no right or wrong answer. It's basically which one you think would be the best. So just tell me which one, if that's the one I'm thinking about as I looked at it. The continuing case study is on page 478, and you're going to answer question 1 and 2. This is our continuation of the Lawrence family. So know that that's what the case study is. Your discussion board question is Dollar Tree, and it's on page 517, and you're going to answer questions 1 and 2. After you do your research on this, you may decide you want to invest in Dollar Tree. So that's a quick overview of chapters 13 and 14 that you're going to be doing for week number 6. Thanksgiving is Thursday, so I hope that you have a great Thanksgiving and then you enjoy being with your friends and family. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions.